Hi, this is Aaron for Tippy and Tricky. Today we are going to check Android features. So there are many Android features available, but we are going to check some of the features. So the first one would be your user interface. When it comes to user interface in Android, it has a graphical and intuitive user interface. So graphical, so everything is represented using icons and it is easy to navigate between things. And what is mean by intuitive? So even an illiterate, the people who knows no knowledge about Android can operate it well. So example, when you give an Android phone to a child, so it can operate due to the graphical representation of the UI. So it can navigate through things and and open a gallery or play some games. So that is what we call it as intuitive user interface. The next one would be your messaging, and this messaging is already available in earlier, that is before Android, that is SMS and MMS. It is already available from the Nokia mobile phones, short messaging services and multimedia messaging services. So these two things are now supported in Android also. The advanced version of messaging here is Android push messaging services. So what is this push messaging services? When you connect it through internet, you would be finding some push notifications from many apps. Example, in Candy Crush, whenever there is an update or some competitions, you would get a push notifications from the Candy Crush game app. So to update your gaming. First, the Android push messaging services is supported through Google Cloud Messaging. Now the Google has upgraded to another cloud environment known as Firebase Cloud Messaging Services. The GCM is the Google has stopped the support and services for Google Cloud Messaging Services. The next one would be your connectivity. So what is GSM? GSM is when you connect it through a net, your phone would represent G or E or H or H plus. What that means? GSM is of 2G speed. Edge is of 2.75 G. So the transfer rate for 2G and 2.75G, you can refer that in the internet. What is WCDMA and UMTS? Those are 3G communications. When it comes to LTE, that means it would be a 4G communications. What about Bluetooth? So Bluetooth is a transferring mechanism from one device to another device at lower bandwidth level. So Wi-Fi, when it comes to Wi-Fi, transferring of data from devices to another device with higher bandwidth of data. You can transfer from one phone to another phone, that may be data or any other internet hotspot thing, through this Wi-Fi direct. So this will be seen later in this future part. That is, using this Wi-Fi you can share internet also. The next one would be your NFC. So what is this NFC? NFC is near field communication. It is just like a infrared passing through two different Android devices. That is, it is not actually an infrared communication. Instead, an Android beam would be passed through this two NFC enabled mobile phones. You can transfer something using this Android beam. So that is what we call it as NFC. As you see, the latest updates in NFC is wireless charging. You would have a device with circular in shape. That is what we call it as wireless charger. You can just place the phone over that device and get it charged. That concept uses NFC. GSM is 2G, Edge is 2.75G, WCDMA, UMTS 3G, LTE 4G. The next one would be your multi-touch option. Android supports multi-touch options like pinch and zoom. Whenever you take a picture, if you want to zoom it, you can just pinch it and zoom, the picture get zoomed. Or just like playing a car game. So you would be handling the steering in with one finger, another finger you would be having the accelerator. So Android supports multi-touch options too. The next one you are multitasking. So what is multitasking? As you see in many technologies that it has a features named multitasking. What it means? Multitasking is running two or more applications simultaneously by switching one on another. Example, in Android phone, when you chat with someone in WhatsApp, you would be continuing the chat. At that time, you would have a email coming for you. So you can just minimize the WhatsApp application, respond to that email and switch back to the WhatsApp chat where you have left. Means when you respond to the email, this particular WhatsApp application is running in background so that you can resume it after responding to the email. So this is what we call it as multitasking. Before NuGet versions, you can open only one app at a time. That is, if you open WhatsApp chat, you cannot open the email on the same screen. But in NuGet version, it supports split screen. So what is the split screen? You can have two apps running side by side. Example, you can watch a movie on the top of the screen. Below the screen, you can just text somebody else. That is running two applications side by side. And you do also have options in NuGet to change between apps. That is why you are viewing it in split screen. You can easily navigate to other apps also if needed. So the next one would be your multi-language support. So up to NuGet, in NuGet, they have added many languages in Android. So before that also, it supports many languages. That is both single direction and bidirectional languages. What is single directional and bidirectional? In some languages, the flow would be from right to left or left to right. So that is single direction. In some languages, the flow would be from top to left. They would be continuing it from left to right and as well as from right to left. That is bidirectional text. The next one would be your accessibility. So what is this accessibility? Android has built-in text-to-speech converter for the people with low or no vision. What is this text-to-speech? So Android devices can read the text for you for the people with low or no vision. They can just know the messaging, whatever the message has come to their Android phones. The Android would read it for them and convert it to a speech. The next one is media support. Android support many media types like JPG, MP3, MP4, AMR, MKV, FLV. So many types it supports. Android supports mostly all the multimedia types, which is not available in the phones available before Android. That is Nokia or some other manufacturers, mobile manufacturers phone. When it comes to web browser, Android supports HTML5 and CSS3 web browsers. That is, you can view the latest websites in the web browser without any flaw or errors. In some sites, you cannot view some content due to the supportability of the browsers, but that is not the case in web browser for Androids. It supports HTML5 and CSS3 websites so that you can view it without any errors or any flaws. The next thing would be your Wi-Fi direct. So we have seen the Wi-Fi sharing of information from devices to devices. It can be internet data. So what is this Wi-Fi direct? Wi-Fi direct is a peer-to-peer communication, that is from phone to another phone or a phone to a TV if it is actually a smart TV. What is this Wi-Fi direct? So this Wi-Fi services, Android uses this Wi-Fi services to share data. You can share a film or or a songs, whatever it may be, from one device to another device with higher bandwidth. When it comes to Bluetooth, if you transfer a 400 MB of data from one mobile to another mobile, it would obviously take some time. But that is not in the case of Wi-Fi Direct. You can transfer that in seconds or even 1 or 2 minutes. So that is Wi-Fi Direct. It is just like a peer-to-peer communication in client-server technologies. The next feature be your widgets. Sometimes we need information at a glance instead of making the app to open and wait for it to load and see what you need. You can use this widgets in your home screens and view it in a go. That is whichever thing. So even a WhatsApp contact can be added as a widget in your home screen, or any other examples like weather apps, music widgets, analog clocks can also be used as a widgets in your home screen. Not only you can use your widgets, but also you can resize your widgets. Suppose if I need a larger analog clock, yes, I can keep it there in the home screen. If you want to resize it to smaller size, Android also do have options for resizing the widgets to smaller sizes. The next comes video calling. Video calling is supported in Android phones with the help of internet data. Some of the apps that supports video calling is Google Talk and WhatsApp. Yes, you can talk to your relatives and friends using this video calling by seeing face to face. The third would be your screen capture. Most of the Android phones supports this feature. How do I take a screen capture? By pressing the power button and the home button, you can take a you can take a screen capture of whatever screen you have in your device. The screen captured would be saved as an image file in your gallery. Hopefully the folder name would be screenshots. So the next one would be your tethering. So what is this tethering? Android supports tethering, which allows the phone to be used as a Wi-Fi hotspot. It can be either wireless or wired. What is this Wi-Fi hotspot? So making your device as a medium which provides Wi-Fi data. Example, if I want to share my internet data with other people, I can just switch on by tethering, that is my Wi-Fi hotspot, and share my internet data with the other people who is having the Wi-Fi enabled devices. Before Android 2.2 version, this feature is supported by third-party applications, but now after 2.2, Android supports this tethering feature by inbuilt. This second feature of the slide is no touch control. What is no touch control? You can operate your Android phones using the gestures. That is, you no need to touch anything on your screen. Just make gestures to your Android phone and you can control this phone touch free. Example, for taking a selfie, you can just wave your hand, that is wave your palm to the front screen. Android can recognize your palm and trigger that camera button by itself. So this is an example for no touch control. So still there are more phones that supports this gestures, like when you smile the camera automatically triggers, so on so these are some examples for no touch control feature. The third of this slide gives the infrared transmission. Yes, Android supports infrared transmission. When you see in some tabs, you would find this particular infrared transmitter just like in a black color in the side of this side of your tablets. By using that, you can control your TV or any other infrared devices as a remote control. You can use your phone or tablet as a remote control and operate that TV or any other devices that supports infrared. We have come to the final feature, that is storage. Android supports two storages, that is internal and external storages. What is internal? Internal, that is stored in your phone and cannot be accessed by others. And once again, this internal doesn't mean that your phone storage or doesn't mean that it is your phone storage. Internal storage that can be stored anywhere inside your phone. It can be even in your memory card or in your phone storage. This particular database or storage mechanism cannot be accessed by the others. Example, a finance calculating app. What can I do that how the data are stored in the finance calculating app? A finance calculating app is something confidential to you. That is not mandatory that it can be shared with the others. What you can do is you can create a database inside your phone. You can create an app which supports internal storage, that is like SQLite inside your phone, and make it use only for you, not for the others. The internal storage mechanism can be achieved by SQLite database. So SQLite, Android supports SQLite, a lightweight relational database. What is lightweight? Yes, you can create a database and store records in less than an MB. That's what's the advantage in the use of SQLite database. And you can also use shared preferences. So what is this shared preferences? It is similar to SQLite, but you cannot store it in records in shared preferences. You can store one or few values internally. Example, when you install apps like Flipkart or Facebook for the first time, you would be providing your login details for the first time. The second time when you open your app, maybe your Flipkart or Facebook, it doesn't force you to enter the login details again, because once the server validates your login details for the first time, that particular username and password is stored inside your phone. Whenever you open the app again, that stored information, that is your username and password, which is stored using shared preferences, use taken into account, that thing is validated in the server and you get logged into automatically by opening the app. So this is the use of shared preferences. So example for SQLite is finance calculating app. So you can store all your incomes and outcomes of your daily routine in this app, and this information would be available private only for you. The next one would be your external storage. This database is stored in your web server, just like how I said in Flipkart or Facebook. When you provide your login details, that information is checked in the server that is available somewhere else. It checks for the login credentials and make you to login. The same ways, whomever using that app can access that web server if they have valid credentials. So internal storage is accessed only by the app user, and external storage can be accessed by any people. Example, I might have a Facebook account. My friends also would have a Facebook account. We both can log in to the Facebook server by providing a valid credentials. My data would be loaded from the web server. Likewise, my friends' data, my friends list would be loaded to his app. So the database is common there and we are accessing that database. But that is not in the case of internal storage. Our database would be stored inside the phone and my friends or relatives cannot access my database. Okay. So how do I make this external storage? So most probably the database would be your MySQL. So obviously that would be used in the servers. You can also connect other database such as SQL Server and many more database that supports in the server. Okay. So example for external storage would be your any shopping applications. Whenever any shopping applications provide some deals that is viewed in all the app users, that is the user is using their shopping application. Example, if a Flipkart announces a big billion days, that the information would be available for all the users who is using that app. So this is the example for external storage. Okay, how do I connect this external web server? Android does not have any methods or classes that directly connects the web server's database. Then how do I connect it? You must connect it through a server scripting languages, just like PHP. I would send the information to the PHP, that is my username password to the PHP, and this PHP is going to make the connect with the database and check the credentials and return back the result to the Android device. Okay, so if you are using Java makes the connection by sending and receiving information to and fro with the PHP script. This PHP will also be available in your web server. That is where your database resides. The PHP would do the database information for me. So the database retrieval and storage, whatever the operation would be done by PHP. I would code the entire thing, what must be done inside the PHP file and store it in a web server that contains the database. Obviously my MySQL. So that's it about the Android features. If you like this video, you can subscribe. Bye from Aaron, signing off from Tippy and Tricky. Bye.